Compliments to the new season and happy new year 2026. I hope this become a very fun year, fruitful, and then I hope all the things that I want, the things that I want, come to pass. Yeah, my head's it's a bit, but we'll fix it. 2026. How did we get here? I just wanna touch in how we as Christians had to jump from 2025 to 2026, and then how did we make it here? Uh, and since I was young until I have grown, uh, every time when we break the year or when we break over into another year, we go into a church service. That was a long time ago when I was still in Libompo. But then also, these are the things that I found that also other Christians do these things, right? So in Christmas or New Year's Eve, this is what we do. 8 o'clock or 8:30 or 9 o'clock, would go to the church, and then there's a service, and then the church would declare the theme. Will the church will declare the theme of the following year, and then that theme is supposed to guide the church. It's supposed to be the vision of that church for the rest of the year. And then you can create subtopics, or actually it's just going to be your guide, and then you pray along those things. Sometimes it's not as much as a guide, but as much as a prophetic word that comes from God to a specific church. And then we know that in Revelations, there's sometimes where I think John writes to the church of Corinth or the church of Ephesus, or to the angel of which church, because sometimes a message can be directed to that specific church, right? And then the messages can be different. Another church may be lacking something, then another church can be lacking something. But in what John was saying that to that specific church, there's a specific sermon, or there's a specific message. So in 2025, I was this side in Gauteng, breaking the new year or breaking into the new year. Churches, different churches do this, right? I checked Eggs Church in Midrand. I checked Hope Restoration again in Midrand and also in Chlorocop. I checked Rhema Church in Senten of Four Ways. I also checked Rivers Church in Four Ways in Senten, and I also checked Grace Bible Church of Reverend Musasono. So how do they do this? How are they breaking their church? How do they break into the new year? So this is how believers start their Januaries. We go to the church, and then we cross over into that into that service, right? So Acts Church, this is what was happening. It was a very nice service. Everything was happening, was fun, and all those things. But then this is what the pastor declared. The pastor of the church was like, okay, 2026 is going to be a year. It's going to be a year of fruits, or the year of fruitfulness. And then he opens the book of John, where Peter was interacting with Jesus. And then when Jesus was saying to Peter, please cast your nets into the sea. And then Peter was like, no, we have done this the whole night. We didn't catch anything. But then Christ insisted that he does that. When Peter cast his nets into the sea or into the river, then they caught so many fishes, so big fishes that the nets were tearing up. They called the nearing boats to come and then assist them, because they had so much fishes that they could not believe. And then the pastor was stressing this point. 2026 is going to be a year of fruit, so much that you won't be able to contain them. And then he also touched the part that says that you're not going to do much from your side. It's not hard work. It's not going to be hard work from an individual, but it's all going to be the Lord. I like that part. I was like, wow, this is great. Then I moved from that church. Then I went and try to find out, okay, what is Hope Restoration saying under Reverend Matebula. And then Reverend Matebula, open quote, he says 2026 open quote is going to be, there is more, close quote. There is more in God. That is what he's trying to say. And then they open the book of Ephesians, verse 20. I don't know which chapter, I think 6, or I will confirm that, where it says that God is able to do abundantly. I think it's chapter 3. God is able to do abundantly above what you can imagine of or what you can think of. So they are trying to say, or the pastor is trying to say that in his church, what's going to happen is that God is going to multiply things. And then when you look at this theme and also look at the theme at the Church of Acts, it's almost similar. There's going to be abundance. There's going to be abundance. And then I looked at their previous year. The previous year, the Church of Acts, they said that it's going to be a year of dominance, right? And then I looked at the Church of Hope, Church of Hope Restoration. They were saying that it's going to be a church of discipleship. So I don't know if they managed to get to the goal of discipleship in the way they want, and also I don't know what happened in the Church of Acts. But then I would like to see if they did get to where they wanted to get. But in this year is the year of fruits in the Church of Acts, and it's the year of there is more at Hope Restoration. But what I also liked is the Rhema Bible Church in Four Ways. The pastor, Macaulay, says that open heaven. 2026 is open heaven. And then he opens the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 12, where it says that you will lend and you will not borrow. That's a paraphrase. He's saying that you will have so much in the year 2026, and then you will lend to people, and then you won't have lack. Even though as so much as you are lending to people, you won't lack anything because you won't be borrowing. I liked that. I was like, wow. And he says that the very same thing that the other pastors are saying. He says that you won't have to do much from your side. God is going to do all these things. I'm like, wow, really? I checked the church of the pastor Rivers Church. I did not find anything. I was like, okay, maybe in the first service they will do that. And then I also checked the church of Musa Sona Grace Bible Church. He has not posted anything. Maybe he will declare that in the first Sunday service. But then from the three that I got that there is a wave of God that is trying to do in this year. But we will see. That is a crossover of a Christian believer. After the crossover, the first week or the following Monday of the first week, there's going to be fasting. We all know that. All churches declare fasting. Almost all the ones that I know of. So, what is this fasting? What is the purpose of fasting? We know that fasting protect us, or it's a weapon of warfare. We use fasting to fight our spiritual battles. We know when they were trying to cast the demon out, they say we cannot cast this demon out, and Christ says that only by fasting and prayer. And we also know that at the Ahava Canal, when they were going back to Jerusalem, they went to the Ahava Canal, and then they stayed there, and then they fasted. They said that, okay, God, protect us to the journey that we're going to take. That is fasting. Fasting is a weapon for Christian. So January again, don't don't look at us and then you see us slim or thin. Just know that we are busy in fasting prayers, and then we're trying to save groceries as much as we can. But January for believers is a fasting month. We go 14 days. We go Daniel fasting. We go 3 days dry. We go 7 days dry. We go sometimes we break in the evening. It depends in what the church leaders decide. But January is for fasting. We want to fight the battle that we're going to face in 2026 before it begins. We know that in every service that we start, we open in prayer. So this is us opening the year. This is us opening the month. This is declaring that the enemy has no chance in this year. Another basic thing that we do as Christians, or before I go to that, another basic thing, there's a story that I liked that I've read that talks more about prayer, right? It says that there was a merchant guy, right? He had a van and then he had merchandise in his van. So he was crossing over this other country. When he was crossing over that other country, there's so much crime into that country. So the journey was too long. So he had to drive and camp, drive and camp, drive and camp. When he got to a specific country, there were robbers or thugs following him. When they were following him, the first night he prayed, God, I am here, protect me. And then he slept. Now, when the thugs went to his caravan, they find that there was a huge wall. They can't jump over the wall. So they were like, okay, let's not do anything today. We will try again tomorrow. He moved his caravan. In the evening, he packed his caravan. And then again, he thanked the Lord. He prayed that, okay, God, thank you. And then he prayed for the night. And then the thugs tried again. When they went to the caravan, they found again, there's again a huge wall. They can't cross over. They were shocked because there's no even a wall during the day. Why is there a wall during the night? Third day, the caravan owner or the merchant, he did not pray much. He was sleepy, he was tired, and then he slept. And then the thugs came. This time they find that, oh, there is a wall, but this time there is walls for us to get through. When they get through into the walls, they go and say, oh no, let's first wake him up and ask, where were those walls coming from? And then he told them that, oh, I didn't even know that they were walls. But then I know that every night I was praying whenever I'm camping. So today I did not pray much because I was so tired. I could not pray that much. Maybe that's why you were able to find loopholes to get into to me. And those guys, they were like, wow, we want to know your God. So this is what prayer and fasting, I believe it's going to do for us in the year of 2026. With the themes that the churches have already given us, this is what we're going to pray towards. I know maybe we have individual prayers. We incorporate those with the themes of the church and then follow where the church is taking us. And then another thing that a believer does in January is this: we never miss the first Sunday service. We start in a high note because this is a declaration that I am purposeful in going to church. Um, I want to do this seriously. I want to arrive late. I want to arrive early before the church starts, and then I wanna participate in the service. I want to be part of what God is doing to His people. It's some sort of declaration, right? I also did not want to go to the first Sunday service today, but then I went because this is a declaration that we set as a family. Me and my wife, we like, if we start in a high note, when we fall during the year, at least we would have started in a high note. It's harder to begin in the middle, I think. When you begin in the middle, it becomes so difficult. You'll be like, okay, maybe I'll start next year. So those are the three things that we set a tone of a year, or of the year that is coming. We set standard, we declare, we tell the enemy that this is who we are and what we stand for. And then the rest of February will follow. So I guess this is 2026 for us. God bless.